Great. I'm Corvida Raven, aka Oprah of the Web, and this is my presentation on common sense and why it's not common. And if you say anything bad about it, I'll make sure you never gain another Twitter follower ever. Thank you. Okay, so first things first, let's define what is common sense. And according to dictionary.com, it is sound practical judgment that is independent of specialized knowledge, aka normal native intelligence. Now, for those that don't understand this, let's break it down to a science equation. Situation plus conditions equals decision. Or I'm sorry, this is a math equation. Now, for those who don't understand this, let's break it down to an English equation, which is the law of common sense that my best friend Janae came up with. Do what's best, hence heat equals hot equals stay away. Now, we all know this, but toddlers don't seem to understand this concept, which is why they're the prime example of why common sense isn't common. You tell them to stay away from the stove, and what do? They go to the stove anyways. And it could possibly be because of curiosity, but it's not common for anyone with any type of sense to touch the stove while it's hot. And the test dummy for this is Scooby-Doo. Now, everyone knows this cartoon. Situation, spooky setting, condition, something is seriously wrong here, death is upon you, and the decision should be to run like hell. But only Scooby and Shaggy actually run away. Social media and relationships. Now, all of these tweets are complaining about how social media ruins relationships. No, let me tell you, common sense should tell you that you should change your status from single to in a relationship so that she can stop complaining. Now, here's the breakdown of uncommon decisions. You think you won't get caught or you'll get away with it if you do, and the prime example of this is drunk driving. In the next slide. Okay. Situation, you've been having too much to drink and now it's time to go home. Conditions, if you go home now, you'll throw up on yourself, you'll get a ticket, cause a 6-car pileup, or possibly death. And the decision should be don't drive, call a cab, or wait it out. But instead, we have over 8,500 deaths caused by drunk driving this year alone. Every 40 minutes, someone is killed by drunk drivers, and it costs us roughly $51 billion, which would help us a lot in our recession if people would just stop drinking and driving. Now, number 2 is debt. And you're broke, but you want something. Now, you know if you buy it, you're either going to be further broke, or you're going to owe money, could lead to bankruptcy, bad credit, and all this other stuff. Now, the decision should be to not buy it. But I'll tell you that my mom, okay, she calls me, and every time we talk, she complains about the bills, but then she turns around and asks me, which is a better laptop, the Dell or the HP? Mom, get it together. Now, if you're thinking, have I done any of this? Common sense clearly does not run through your veins, okay? We've established that. Now, the law of attraction. Like attracts like. Think it, believe it, you own it. I like this law a lot. It brings me a lot of money. And some people don't get this law, though, because a lot of us complain entirely too much. And according to the law of attraction, the more you complain, the more you will have something to complain about. Does everybody agree with this? Yes. So why the hell do you go home and complain? Which is probably what you're going to do when you leave here. So let's translate this to complaining in relationships. If you complain about your significant other, do not be surprised if they are doing that or worse. Common sense should tell you this because you just agreed with me for the law of attraction, correct? Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page. Now, breakdown number 2 is what applies to someone else doesn't apply to you. That's the biggest lie that you'll ever tell yourself, okay? What someone else didn't get away with, you're probably not going to get away with either. And prime example of this is cheating in relationships. You're in a relationship and you want to have outside sex. And this could end, or the condition is, end the relationship, STD, AIDS, stalkers, getting caught. Decision, either end your relationship or don't do it at all. But instead, you do it and you know, people get mad, throw temper tantrums, you got to buy roses and crap. If they caught you, you might end up in the hospital or possibly dead. Common sense would have told you this, but clearly it's uncommon. And I'll leave you with these tweets that I found on Twitter. 2 in particular, the first one and the last one. Common sense would tell you to use the other door if you see me coming out this one. I have this complication a lot. And when two lanes merge, it's one car and then the other people. Left, right, left, right. Common sense tells you this, but instead we have traffic 24/7 because, all right, that about ends my presentation.